I'm Coach Mickey, and I'm so glad that you've joined us. And if this is your first time joining us, come on in and make yourself comfortable. And for those of you that join us on a regular basis, we are so glad that you do. And we are so excited because I know that many of you reach out to our guests that we have on, and we really appreciate that. And again, as you know, and when we have guests on, they're going to be embedded, whether you're listening into the podcast or in the links down below. And today is no different. It's going to be fun and exciting and insightful. And I've had this guest on before, and I'm excited to bring her back because she is on book number 8. And this one is incredible, just like all of her other books. But this one has a little bit different twist, and it's doing very, very well on Amazon. I highly recommend that once you hear this YouTube channel or this podcast, that you please go to Amazon and take a look at what she has to offer after we go through this. So welcome, Nancy Mueller. How are you?
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you for having me. I am fabulous. Thank you for asking.
So book number 8, my gosh, and I know this one is a little bit different than some of the others, kind of on the same lines. I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, this one, book number 8, it's different for me because this one was written as fiction. And the previous books that I've written were more not really autobiographical, but it was more self-help as far as I healed this or went through this. This is how I did it, and this is how you can do it here step by step. So this one was different for me because as I was working on it and meditating on it, I kept coming back to this one needs to be written as fiction. And when you're writing in a different style and a different kind of genre, it's I think that in itself can be a limiting belief, like, oh, can I do this? And but when I sat back and said, all right, I hear that this is the way it's meant to be. So I opened up the channel, and gosh, this book was truly downloaded to me through me. And when it was all said and done, when it was finished editing and sent to the publisher, I just sat back and felt like I had birthed something really powerful. So I'm excited.
Well, I love the title, and the title of the book is Secrets in the Attic. And yeah, I love it. So how did you come up with that?
Well, I was literally in the attic. So I was visiting in Ohio. I was in Ohio. I live in California, and I was visiting family there. And my cousins were preparing their parents, which would be my aunt and uncle's house, to sell it. So they were going through everything and making sure that that they had gone through everything and was getting ready. So we were up in the attic. There were 3 of us, me and 2 cousins, a boy and a girl, and we're going through all this stuff and kind of pulling things out. And that's when I realized, like, whoa, my aunt did not throw anything away. She kept everything. It was so amazing. And one of my cousins shoved a box over to me and said, here, go through this. Just make sure there was no personal information in there. So I took the lid off the box, and immediately I recognized the handwriting on the very top letter there. And I looked at them and I said, you guys, this is my mom's handwriting. What's my mom's stuff doing in your mom's attic? And they said, well, I don't know. Let's go through this. So as we started going through the box, we were really kind of blown away by some of the stuff that we found. And I will preface this by saying, growing up, I always felt like my family, meaning me, my siblings, and my parents, were kind of the unwanted part of the family. Like, we never had the money to do anything. There were 5 of us kids. Everyone else had 2 or 1 child. And so, we just didn't fit in. We were like, I wouldn't say the black sheep, but we just didn't have what some of the others had. So I guess the best way to say it is I always considered myself them a have, and me a have not. Our family, I have not. So I'm going through this box, and we're pulling out this information, and we're finding newspaper articles and legal documents that told us things that we did not ever know about some of our family members. And as we sat there, shocked, like, oh my gosh, did you know this? No, I didn't know this. And then one of my cousins looked at me and she goes, well, I think you know what your next book's going to be about. And right then and there, I looked at her and I said, yeah, and I'm going to call it Secrets in the Attic. So that's the backstory of where the title came from. And in the book, I use the word attic as a term for something tangible. So the attic in a house is tangible, right? You can put something in a box, stick it up in the attic, forget it, don't even think about it. And the attic in your mind is the same way, but it's intangible. So the attic of our mind is something where we store all our thoughts, all our beliefs, all our feelings, all our secrets. Everything is stored up there. And sometimes we take a look at it, sometimes we don't take a look at it, but everything that's stored in our mind is always flowing through us and saying, you can do this, you've got it, or who are you kidding? You can't do that. You don't know what you're doing. And we visit those thoughts and those secrets in our mind, and we take them out, I think, and look at them when we feel most strong. But when we're not feeling strong, again, they're up there floating around and they're influencing our belief about who we can be, who we can't be. And it's so amazing because everyone has secrets. Everyone has secrets. And we don't really stop to think about the secrets that we keep. And we're taught to keep these secrets at a very early age. For me, a lot of the secrets that I kept were about the mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse by the age of 12. And these were secrets that we had to keep in our family. So, whatever kind of secrets we're keeping, it's because someone who is teaching us something is saying, okay, well, this is not going to be accepted in polite society or outside of our home. So we need to keep these things a secret. But the more things we keep secret as children, we don't really understand why we're doing it. And because no one explains why it's so important to keep these secrets, we make up a reason. We say, oh, I guess because, like I said at the beginning, we're just not desirable to the rest of the family. So we need to keep this secret and that secret. And much like you, Mickey, I've heard you share an amazing message that you share with people about people who are binge eaters and they secretly keep this to themselves and they don't want anyone to know what's going on. And it's not until they say, you know what, I'm going to just out myself and I'm going to see where it goes because I'm tired of keeping the secret and having it weighing on me in mind, body, and soul. And it could be anything. It could be you're keeping a secret for your brother about a blanket that he slept with until he was 17. It's just we keep secrets in the family. And because of that, it creates beliefs within our mind. And then as adults, we're either continuing to keep those secrets or we're learning to speak up, to share. But when we feel that we don't have a voice, when we feel that we can't speak up, that we can't say something because we have that belief about something that we were taught when we were growing up, that's why the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, get away with what they get away with. And people in the workplace, or you might see something that you just don't agree with at work, but you have to keep a secret because you're afraid of losing your job. And we justify all these reasons to keep secrets that are weighing us down in mind, body, and soul. So it is my extreme pleasure to be able to share the message in this book so that people can really start thinking about their own secrets, why they're keeping them, and whether or not they still want to keep them and why.
Well, that's really insightful because you're right. Everybody's got some kind of secret that they hold, whether it's personal or something like you said that they know. And it does, it weighs on you. I mean, you bring these through your life, and it could be something like you said that started in your childhood or even something recent. And if you're dealing, especially every day, if you have to deal with it, like you said, at work, or if even within your family or something that you have people you have to be around on a regular basis. And I always tell people, there's some you take in small doses, and do them, way you can. However, it doesn't alleviate the fact that you're still harboring or holding something that is still causing mental anguish, or something that is not sitting well with you. So tell me a little bit about the book on how it can help, because you have a lot of information, but also it does go down the line of helping others to discover and overcome these situations. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I feel that this book was written as a way to, I think because it's fiction, you're not pulled in and felt like, oh, this is a how to, and I have to learn how to do this. You're able to flow with the storyline and get caught up with the main character. And the main character in the book, her name is Bella. And you're able to follow Bella's journey. And there are some parts of it where you don't really know where it's going, but it opens up the mind for, oh, I see, this is the situation she was in. And then it shows Bella how she got to be in that situation and how she could decide if she was ready to let it go. And in the book, I refer to that as a dark night of the soul, because there are so many of us who have had a dark night of the soul, or many dark nights of the soul. I know everybody can resonate, right? You get to that point in your life where you think, gosh, I know that I'm not supposed to ever have more than I can handle, but this is just more than I can handle. And when we get to that point where we feel like there's more than we can handle, where we can't speak up, where we don't have a voice, we can't share something, it's overwhelming. And it's that place where you feel like you don't have any choices. And I know for me, years and years ago, one of the answers that I thought was going to work for me was to study martial arts, because I thought if I could learn to fight, if I could learn to protect myself, then no one would ever touch me again. No one would ever hurt me again. But as I studied martial arts and was a student, competitor, and teacher in the martial arts, the more I studied, the more I understood that when you can move from the physical, which is the fighting part of it, to the non-physical, to the mindset, to the philosophies behind it, and understand where your true power comes from, and that everything is energy. And we tap into that chi in the body in the dojo, in the martial arts, and you can tap into that chi for every experience that you want to be empowered around. And, the Dalai Lama said it's the Western women that are going to change the world. But women can't change the world until every woman knows who she is and where her true power comes from. And this is something that I go through in the book. And it gives the reader an opportunity to say, oh, yeah, I can resonate with that. And some of the feedback that I'm getting, people are sharing things with me that I didn't even see in the book. So it's really exciting when I'm getting this feedback and having women say, I read this and I resonated with this. And I immediately said, okay, this is something that I want to change in my life. And yeah, I really feel that this is a message that came through me for other people. It's not about me. It's for other women.
Well, having something to be able to resonate with is powerful. It's like anything else. When you watch something, or like you said, you read something, if you can have that, if you can identify with what they're going through and then apply it towards your own life, there's the lesson right there, to be able to make that recognition and then, take what you need from it and then move forward. And that's amazing, because like you said, everybody's got their own journey that they're going through, or whatever the path they're trying to get through is going to be able to help them if they identify with what you're writing about, and then they can move them to go forward. And you're right, women are amazing, because every time I've ever done any kind of events, or we've done stuff together. I mean, even you and I with our collaboration, we always say, what do you need? What can I
Yeah.
do? How
Yeah.
can we collaborate together? And we come together. One of my favorite quotes that I read, and I use it often, is, snowflakes are fragile, but look what they can do when they stick together. They can create an avalanche. And it's one
Absolutely.
of those things where we have to recognize that we've got a lot of empowerment and ability to be able to come together, not only for ourselves as individuals, but also when we collaborate and do things with each other, to make that difference. That is really exciting. I love this. So what are some of the favorite things about this book? I mean, like you said, you kind of, it came to you as a download, and I love that, because when you get that, and I know what that download is, it's just like you can't get it out on the paper fast enough, and it
Yes.
just feels so good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Um, so what was some of your favorite things that you went, oh my gosh, this is awesome, when you were writing it?
One of the things that I really got excited about was pulling well, as an author, I was always taught, I don't know, 100 years ago when someone started teaching me how to write, that an author should always write something that they know about, that they know firsthand. So it should be information that you're familiar with. So there was a lot of me that is pulled into the character, but a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot of me. I will change that to a lot of my experiences. And because there were a lot of my experiences, one of the things for me was how excited I felt when I was writing this book. It was almost like there was something in me going, yeah, and then remember this, and yeah, and now, and I'm like, yes. And if I can convey that excitement and that power to other women or anyone who reads this book, and I talk a lot about women, 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 but this book isn't just for women. It could be for men who have women in their life, women that they're trying to understand, women that are no longer in their life, women that they feel they've been wronged by, because it gives us both the opportunity to see both sides of it. Because the thing about everything that's going on in the United States right now, there's a lot of fear mongering going on about what if this happens and what if that happens and women's rights are going to be taken away. But the thing is we are never going to stand in our power if we are concentrating on the fear. So we have to know what we want, first of all, instead of concentrating on what we don't want. So most of us were taught to, speak every day and say, I don't want this to happen. I don't want to lose this. And when you're constantly putting that out there, what you don't want, that is the vibrational energy you are speaking to the universe. You are putting out into the universe. So it's very important for us, each woman individually, to do the inner work and know what we want, because we can't put it out there to the universe about what we really want, what our heart's desire is, if we don't even know it ourselves. And I think that a lot of us are not used to doing that. We're so used to thinking, well, I have to pay my dues, I have to work really hard in order to get this. But it's like once we decide to be the financial abundance, to be the perfect body, to be whatever that looks like to anybody, to be the person we love to see in the mirror, we have to learn to be that, which means you have to take it in as your essence of who you are. Wake up in the morning and go, this is who I am, regardless of any of the circumstances that are going on in front of our eyes, because circumstances don't matter. State of being is what matters. And if you really think about that sentence that I just said, circumstances don't matter, state of being matters, because it's our state of being that's attracting everything into our lives, the people, the places, the experiences, and it's our state of being, who we are as a person, that we are attracting.
And you're right. You're so right about that. And one of the examples, and it's a minor one, but it's somebody who gets up and says, let's say they get up in the morning and they stub their toe on the bed, or we're going out the door, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's going to be one of those days
Yep.
you've already set it up. You're going to have one of those days because you just convince yourself it's going to be one of those days. Attitude is changes everything. What is it? Yeah, attitude and gratitude are the two
Exactly.
biggest things, right? To change it. So what would you suggest to people when they don't know how to do that mindset to the point of where you get up and you're like, oh, it's going to be one of those days? How would you suggest that someone could snap? I don't want to say snap out of it because I hate that because it's not that easy sometimes. It's a
Right.
matter of just I think choice. Choice is a better word. How do you choose? Like, what would you suggest for someone to be able to move forward?
I think what every person wants, they want to be happy. But most of us don't know how to get to happy because we think, oh, when I get this, I'll be happy. When I have this person in my life, I'll be happy. But happiness is a state of being. So the secret to happiness is to be happy. Now, if you're feeling down in the dumps, depressed, sad, overwhelmed, stressed out, that's easier said than done. So, what I suggest to my clients is to create a happy list. And I have my happy list on my phone because it should be a list of like 150 things that when you think about it, it makes you feel happy. And it doesn't have to be a material thing. In fact, material things maybe shouldn't even be on the list. Things like one of the things on my list is I love fresh brewed iced tea in a glass with lots of ice. I love that. And that's on my happy list. And when I think about, oh, yeah, it's hot out and I'm drinking that iced tea, I feel just so refreshed. And I love that because then you're putting yourself in a feeling. And that's what you want. Think about maybe it's your pet when you look at your pet and you just laugh, they make you laugh. And those are the types of things that you want on your happy list. And the reason that I suggest keeping it on your phone is because when you start to find that you are or recognize that you are spiraling downward and feeling any kind of negative, um, that's not the time when you want to sit and think about, oh, let me think about breathing, let me think about happy thoughts, let me think. That's not the time because that's not the energy that you're in. And you can't just flip a switch and go from 0 to 50. So you want that gradual shift. So when you have this list, then you can just start going down, and this is why I suggest 150 things on there, because if you're really in a bad mood or really overwhelmed or stressed or something, it might take a while for you to get to something that'll just spark a happy thought in you. Now, you only need to hold on to a better feeling thought for 16 seconds for your energy to start shifting. And that's what we want. We want to start shifting that vibrational energy. So imagine you're going down this happy list and you start to feel your mood lift, which means you're shifting your energy from negative to positive. Now you hold on to it for 16 seconds, and then something else comes into mind and you hold that for 16 seconds. Before you know it, you're holding on to that more positive thought and vibrational frequency. Things will start to shift for you.
It sounds so easy and it's just so minimal. I mean, 16 seconds is really so minimal to be able to make such a positive and impactful change.
Yeah.
It really does. And I like the fact that you said there's times where you're going to go down the list, and each day is going to be different. Maybe what's on list number two, the second thing you listed may resonate with you that day, where the next day it might be whatever number 45 is that resonates with
Yeah.
you.
Like I said, iced tea, when I think of that, it puts a smile on my face. But if it's, a wintry cold day, that might not do it for me. I might want to think about something hot or I don't know, going on vacation where it's sunny. So it's got to be something that resonates with you. And I think this work, which is us connecting with our higher self, that's what it is. That's all inner work is knowing that you have a higher self, that spiritual being part of you, and we're always connected to it. So for us to say connect to your higher self, it's we're always connected to it. So it's a matter of, are you blocking it or are you keeping the way clear? And it's that power that resonates in every one of us. And as you start to experience that, you're walking around I don't know, there's a song that I think it's from Mortal Kombat, and it's like dun 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 dun, and I always think about that, and I think, yes, that's what I get that song in my head, and I don't know, that's how I read my happy list, with that the thought of that song in my head.
Well, music does change your mood. I mean,
Yeah,
think about it. When you hear a sad song, I mean, makes you very somber. When you hear an upbeat song, it brings you. Music has a way of moving you anyway. And I think we all have that powerful song. I know whether it was going out on the field, or like you said, or you're competing, or even just driving in your car. All of a sudden, this song comes on, and it just changes your whole mindset.
yeah,
I mean, who doesn't turn up the radio really loud when it's something that you really like, right? Especially if it's
exactly.
your favorite song. But you're right. And that's a perfect example of how vibration and your mood can change, which leads me to the next thing. I know we've talked a lot about your book, but I want everyone to know, our circle of friends, that you also work with people on an individual basis, one on one, and everything that you're talking about and with the direction that you're going and what you have to offer really does lead down to this. So why don't we talk about that a little bit, on what you do offer when people work with you, either in a group or one on one. And I know you do it virtually. So why don't you share a little bit of that?
Thank you. Yes, well, I have a group. We meet every week, and it's called, filling enough, right? The dojo, because it's a place where women meet virtually online every week, and we talk about these things that look like they're problems, or um, we talk about finances, we talk about energy, we talk about so many things, and every week I pick a different topic. So that's a way for women to work with me, not just me though, one on one, because every week I pick a topic and we discuss that as a group. It's not like a mastermind where we're trying to pull something out of people. It's an opportunity for everyone to be able to have a voice during that time we're together, to say, gosh, I never thought about it that way. And it's amazing how, when everyone starts feeding into the conversation, how so many different um, uh, perceptions can come into it. So that's really valuable. And if you're unable to join us live, I do have the download, the replays available for download. So that's an opportunity. So, I've got everybody, and wherever you want. If you want to join us live every week, you want to download the replay and do it that way. And then, of course, I also work with people one on one who have some personal goals or challenges or struggles that they want to eliminate, and I work with them as well.
And then why don't you go ahead and give out your website? So, and again, as everybody knows, it'll be in the links down below. But also, if you listen to the podcast, it'll be embedded into the podcast. When you see Nancy's name, it'll be highlighted, and you can click on that, and that'll take you right to her website too. But while people are listening, go ahead and give a shout out.
Sure. You can visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. Masteringyourbeliefs.com.
That's perfect. That is perfect. So, so I got to ask you, I know that you got this book that you just launched, and I know you've got your events that you do, and you are just growing and thriving, girlfriend. I mean, good things are happening for you. That is so exciting.
One of the things that's so exciting about it, though, is it's not just about me. And I think so many of us, we decide to go into something like, well, I want to do this because I want to help people. And when you get to that point when you realize there's no one to help, because everyone has the power within them to be whoever, whatever they want to be. It's more about collaborating. So for me, it's exciting, because I wake up every day and think, who am I going to collaborate with today? Whether I talking with someone, they get on my calendar and we have a conversation, a discovery call, a client, I'm working on presentation for my dojo. It's all of it fills me up, and lights me up in a way where sometimes I feel like I'm floating on air.
And I applaud you, because the information that you've shared, and like you said, from your past and secrets, and to be able to get beyond that and then create the life that you not only desire, but that, like you said, you wake up happy every day. And I know we had a conversation while we were scheduling this time frame to come together and do this. You had said, I'm really happy. And I'm like, and I said to you, there's so few people that can actually say that, can actually get up every day and go, you know what, I'm really happy with my life. And I love the fact that you have reached that point, but you also share that and help guide people. And it's not a matter of, I think, help, like you said, helping is good, but it's also having that ability to share the information to give other people that ability to take it, use it, and then try to design what they need to do to create their happiness.
Yeah, because it's not about me saying, oh, you have to do it this way. It's about me asking someone, so what's going on with you? What would you like to shift? What would you like to change? And then be there for them when they come up against something that is a block, something that's keeping them from acknowledging that power within them. And as we work together, they can start to then see, oh, okay, so this was something I was telling myself that I can let go of that now. And when we do that, it's so amazing how women, I have clients like texting me and just saying, this happened and that happened, and thank you so much. And oh my gosh, I can't wait till our next session. I mean, I've even had clients who have said to me, I got so much out of our session, I want to just pay you an extra something because that's how generous I'm feeling right now. And the universe is truly abundant. What we want, our desires, comes to us from expected as well as unexpected places when we allow ourselves to say, I am part of creation. And because I'm part of creation, I have the same creative abilities as creation. And to sit back and create through you instead of constantly trying to, stay on that treadmill of, I got to do this, I got to do this. It's time for us to stop exhausting ourselves and know the power that we have from within.
Well, and you just mentioned something that's pretty profound. You're right, because when we are like running on that treadmill or the hamster wheel, or it keeps going around and you're not really going anywhere, it is tiring. And then you get up and you do it again the next day. And again, there has to be that time where you've got to make that shift. You've got to make that change. And you're right. I love everything that you're about, and I love everything that you offer. And I know everybody that has worked with you or has read your book has come away with something that can definitely enhance and help them with their life. So I'm going to give you the last 2, 3 minutes to kind of wrap this up. But before we do, again, if you'd like to reach out to Nancy, it'll be down into the description, but also it'll be embedded into the podcast. But go ahead, Nancy. I'm going to let you wrap it up with the last 2 minutes of insight on whatever you want to offer.
Excellent, excellent. I think one of the things that I would like you to remember, if nothing else, when you think about what you've heard here today with Mickey and I, is whatever you want to do, be, or have, you have the ability to do that. You have the ability to be that. But as women, we really deserve to understand that our power comes from within, not from without. It's not about how we look. It's not about how what we're putting on our face or putting on our body or the clothes that we wear. It's the essence of who we are. It's our state of being. Because when we are walking around loving our life, loving who we are, loving how we're showing up, that that people feel that before you even open your mouth. And people want to be around someone like that. So it's not about gender. Whatever's going on in the world right now, it's not about gender. It's about strength, yielding to strength. And when we truly do say, wow, this person knows more about this or has more experience about this than I do, and I would like more of this, and we allow ourselves to let go of those secrets and not be afraid to say, I don't know how to do this. I'm reaching out to you because I want some advice. I want your help. I want to work with you. Whatever that is, let go of the secrets and speak your voice. Share your message, even if your voice shakes.
Thank you. That's perfect. And actually it led me on to something else. And I would like to have you back because I was thinking of something when you were talking. And there's a whole nother podcast we can do on how to uh, between being a victim and a volunteer when it comes to some of these things, right? Even in our own life. So I'd like to have you back, and we can definitely discuss that too, because I know that's something that you uh, work very strongly with too. But
I do.
thank you, Nancy. This was really fun. It's always insightful having you on. I love everything that you're about. I know you've helped so many people, and you're just kind and generous. You always offer a safe place for people to come and be able to share things, regardless of what it is. And I appreciate and applaud you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mickey. And thank you for everything that you're doing. I love your platform. Keep on sharing. I'm so happy to be a part of it. I wish you much success. And I know that as women keep collaborating and sharing our thoughts and putting it out there to the universe and saying, oh my gosh, we could just keep expanding. We could keep going. I so appreciate being part of your tribe.
Me too. Me too. Reason to season in a lifetime. Well, you're a lifetime girlfriend.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for being with us. And again, please reach out to Nancy. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can reach out to her virtually. And again, like I said, everything is embedded down below. Or if you're listening to the podcast, it'll be all into the her name. Just click on it, it'll be in the green highlighted, and you can reach out to her there through her website or collaborate with her in any way, shape, or form. And her book, please go find her book on Amazon. Also, if you'd like to have Nancy attend some of your events. Actually, Nancy, go ahead and say something so your book and you can pop up on the screen.
Okay. So here's the book, Secrets in the Attic. It's available on Amazon, and I'm sure that Mickey will have the link. I would also love to talk to women's groups. Maybe you've got a book club and you're looking for that book to read this month. If you choose my book, let me know. I would be happy to join you in person or virtually, talk about the book, pick my brain, ask me questions, whatever it is. This is about women empowering women.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm so glad that you're with us. And remember, the most courageous thing you can do is be yourself. Until next time on Coach Mickey and Friends, I'll see you.
This episode was brought to you by keeponsharing.com. They're calling themselves the first truly ethical social network. They'll share back 50% of their revenue with their users, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's free to register, and they never sell your information. You can list your products, events, and content for free. Adult content accounts, be gone. They're fun, positive, and encouraging sites supporting local business. In a day and age where social media sites, even well-established ones, are being brought to light left and right for their questionable and sometimes downright archaic business practices, keeponsharing.com is a well-needed breath of fresh air. While you can share personal content, news articles, or just about anything for fun and profit, the marketplace allows practically anyone to sell anything at any time from anywhere. But on this site, you are the boss. I cannot express how amazing it is that keeponsharing.com shares 50% of all revenue back with the users, on top of having a truly transparent, supportive, and clean business model. Check them out. I'm signing up. Will you? Go ahead and meet me on there. Just go to keeponsharing.com. A link will be provided in this episode's description.